Hi everyone, welcome to Control Alt and Compete. Today we're joined by Arran Donald. How are you doing, mate? You alright?
Not too bad, yourself?
Yeah, so a bit different today. So you're going to be joining the Control Alt and Compete team.
Yes,
going to be doing a bit of hosting as well.
Aye, a wee bit nervous, but excited.
You'll be fine.
Nah,
if I can do it, you can do it, mate. You'll be fine.
We'll see.
So we'll find out a bit more about you today.
Yeah,
then.
absolutely. Ask me.
So I think, Arran, you've been involved in gaming and esports, and you've been working with us for a while now as well.
Yeah.
And you also, was it Caledonia Esports that you were involved in
Yeah,
before?
well, I was with Caledonia Esports even back when it was Esports Glasgow.
So was it Esports? So was that Rab in that?
Yeah, so the whole story of it is back in, so I was doing the introduction to computing and with esports. And the guys from Esports Glasgow, they came along, done a little talk to the class, just talking about esports and things. And I kind of resonated with the two guys that founded it, Rab and Jay, because we both had sort of a sports coaching background. So got talking to them, talking about the sort of versatility and the sort of how it connects to one another, esports and sports, whether it's psychology, even health and fitness, things like that. And we kind of just like got like a bat out of hell, like we got along so well. And then about a week or so later, Jay messaged me on Discord saying, well, don't know if you're interested, but would love to obviously have you along, see what Esports Glasgow is about. And from then, it's essentially the rest was history. Went along for a funny wee interview on Discord, which wasn't really an interview, it was just us two chatting tripe for an extended period of time. And then from there, it kind of just developed. I got more involved in the Rocket League tournaments, started off as an event manager, assisting with the admin side through Challenger mode in the background. One day, eventually, got asked, oh, do you fancy trying to do some commentating? Now, I know nothing about Rocket League, but I know it was tell when a ball goes flying from one end of the pitch to the next, so I just made it absolutely hilarious. I had a lot of fun with it. And then from there, yeah, just started like becoming a sort of jack of all trades, master of none, whether it was doing the marketing side of things, doing the commentating, doing event management. And then a few months down the line, it was around about November time, we were talking about a rebranding. And that's when it came along.
So rebranding, changing the name from Esports Glasgow?
Yeah, changing the name because I had put forward, obviously, how about we branch into a different game? How about League of Legends? We'll bring that into play. And that's where League of Locks, that's where I created League of Locks and assisted with, obviously, branding into Caledonia. Even on my Canva, I still have the Canva of all the different logos that I went through and sitting in a call with the guys. I'm like, well, we're going to put unicorns. I like a unicorn, yeah, we'll do a unicorn. So just, yeah.
So why do you think Scottish people, we always resonate to doing that? What other companies would suddenly put on? I mean, you know, we're always doing that, aren't we? Like, you know, the League of, I know, but we do, don't we? Like, so League of Locks, or you know, like the Unicorn or Nessie, or.
I think Scotland in itself is a very patriotic nation, to be honest. We love Scotland. Even when you hate it, you love it. Doesn't matter where you're from. I mean, I'm from Dundee, not originally, but. And there's so many things, like I say.
You always say that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just the way you said that. Yeah.
No, there's some parts of obviously living in Dundee, I'm like, oh, I hate it here, I mean.
Everywhere's got their bit.
Exactly,
right?
But at the same time, I wouldn't change it because it's the people that you meet, it's the experience that you sort of receive through living there.
There's a lot going for it. It's been doing good. I mean, we obviously done a couple of the Scottish esports leagues up there, and it's been getting, you know, the Eden project, and like they were going to have the esports stadium and that kind of fell. But there's all the games companies, there's people in the podcast will know up there as well.
Yeah.
Actually, do you think then Esports Glasgow? I know Esports Aberdeen tried to get formed at one point in the past as well. Do you think it could have been a quite a good idea to maybe keep it just with Glasgow? Because I mean, because you could have got a whole city behind it, no?
Definitely could have. Definitely could have. I think what the underlying factor is there is I think we wanted to make it more national at that stage because we wanted to make sure that we were bringing in as many people as possible. We wanted to try and make the traction, we wanted to try and make the momentum continue to grow for esports in Scotland. Obviously with some shortcomings, things like that didn't happen. I mean, I'd done a research paper for my grade unit, doing the degree just now, and that was looking at essentially the demographic of Scotland and how that's impacting the development of esports within Scotland. Because you look at like say China, you look at South Korea, look at America, very, very educational based.
But I know, but when you start to compare those absolute powerhouses and monster stars.
But they have to start from somewhere, and that's where Scotland is. It's still finding its feet. I mean, we've only recently started to bring on these degrees, these courses and things like that. They're still in their infancy. And you look at America, when they first brought them on, they didn't have what they have now. they learn through all the mistakes and all the trials and things like that, and that's how they developed.
Yep.
And I think Scotland, they've still got all the trials and things like that, still got to get through the sort of demographic, because again, we're a patriotic nation, but we also love our booze, and we also love having a laugh with our mates, we love going out and all that kind of stuff. And again, it can also relate back to that sort of stigma of, oh, you're a gamer, nerd, you know?
Yeah, but there's a new generation coming up as well, though, right? And there's ones that they won't even touch drinking. It's maybe energy drinks or maybe vapes. So there's a whole new kind of vices now growing up, isn't there?
There absolutely is. And there is certain aspects of that that are definitely going to benefit esports in the future, but it can also be a bit detrimental to the youngsters coming up as well. I mean, I always say this, and I still believe that COVID does have a lot to answer for. There is obviously the positives of it helping with the esports industry absolutely blowing out of the water. But then it also has the detriment of the social skills of the younger people. I mean, a lot of them were locked in the house for 2 years during a very impactful developmental period. And some of them just haven't developed the social skills for going out and about. I mean, there's some guys...
that's happened.
Yeah, there's some guys in my course who obviously were a part of the sort of COVID era, where they should have been going out and doing, you know, the lads' holiday and going out with their friends, things. I never got that. And some of them, I'm impacted with sort of anxiety, you know, depression, and all these different other mental health ailments.
I think that's a lot to do with social media as well now.
Absolutely.
I mean, just this morning, I'll just give you an example. I woke up this morning and then I looked at my phone, and there was just so many things I looked at, and see, by 10 seconds later, I was like, my God, I feel anxious as hell.
Absolutely.
And so I'm not going to do it again. I say it to my wife as well, like, you wake up, you flood this information into your brain's not ready to do it. Thousands of years ago, what did you have in the cave?
Yeah.
Another bird went past. Do you know what I mean? You don't really have that kind of carry on. So I don't think people know like what damage it actually does to people. Well, they do know, but I think it's not like...
I think they put it on the back burner for the most part. I mean, I recently, not even a month ago, deleted all of my social media accounts. The only one I've actually kept is Twitter, but I barely go on that. Facebook, Instagram, like I've removed all of them. And that's simply for, again, you open up your phone, you scroll down your social media, you're like, oh, that person's doing great, look at this person, he's on a boat, this person's doing this person, and then you sort of have this bit of self-reflection. Now, it's not to say, obviously, you're doing bad in your life, but as human beings, we always compare ourselves to other people, and we want more. We are greedy as humans. And I felt, obviously, with that, my mental health was just starting to deteriorate, obviously, viewing all these things. So by
and once again, it's all the fake things.
Exactly, it's fake. It is fake, but sometimes you don't perceive it that way. So I took just that situation out of the equation of like, right, social media, bin. And that way I found myself a lot more focused on obviously driving myself forward, whether it's with a career, whether it's with relations, or even just general family, you know, it certainly opens up your mind a lot more. I mean, I'm starting to drink a lot more water, and if anyone knows me, I'd go through about 4 tins of Red Bull a day, and that's an achievement for myself, like. But
what was it you think about the energy drinks then? Were you on caffeine? Was it coffee?
So I had my first energy drink when I was 16. I didn't actually have my first coffee until I was 21. So when I first started on energy drinks, I had the cheap little 25p tins back when.
They must have been great.
Oh yeah, back
when.
What
were they called then?
Boost, I believe. Boost, yeah. Right. I used to love them, absolutely phenomenal. So I'd have one of them before I went into, at this point I was doing my coaching.
25p?
25p, yeah.
I don't know you can get for 25p now.
Oh, absolutely not. Have you seen the price of Ferreros? Out of the water, honestly, no. But no, so from there I kind of just worked up the food chain and suddenly became a bit of a energy drink connoisseur with Red Bull, and I really can't stand the taste that much, but I still need one of them at least a day just to wake myself up. I mean, see me coming in with a Red Bull.
Do you think it's psychological then? Because sometimes you've not had a coffee, I think to myself, I need a coffee, but then sometimes you go through the day without it, you can kind of habit yourself out,
Well, anything that can sort of alter your emotions to any degree can be attributed to an addiction. I mean, you look at alcohol, it's a downer. If you're feeling depressed and that's bringing you down, you're going to get
What's the worst thing for people with alcohol problems?
Same with gaming and things like that. Some people use gaming as an escape from reality. I mean, I certainly did in growing up. I had some hardship stuff like that.
Were you aware of that? I don't look at
no,
but do you think when people say they use it as an escape, I wonder how many times people think, oh, I need an escape, and they go and do it, or it's just something they gravitate to?
I mean, everyone has their different escapes. I mean, you have people, certainly around my age in their 30s, who will take themselves up the hills just for an escape.
Yeah.
There's some people that
Which is good for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to, they don't market the hills
No,
that well,
absolutely
do they?
not.
But
no.
it's good to do that.
And there's people, obviously, in my early years, I'd go into games, I'd play games for extended periods of time just to escape from the reality. I mean, you're putting yourself in this world. I was playing World of Warcraft at the time. I was a skinny wee 5'0" guy, but in the game I was like a 12-foot tall tauren with a giant axe. Like, it just brought that a little bit of escapism. There's tons of different
Can we dig into World of Warcraft? Because I've got a very addictive personality, right? And especially with gaming, I've been quite addicted. I'm so glad. I don't think I'd probably be here today. It seems like it's one of the most addictive games, is it? Do you think?
It certainly was.
What do you think makes it so, like, is it because it's always online?
I'll be honest, it's one of the oldest MMOs. I mean, that came out in 2004 off the back end of Warcraft 1 through 3. A lot of that game was, I think it was escapism for the most part. I mean, from the early 2000s to, late 2010 period, you were looking at quite a heavy recession. You had a lot of people that were going through sort of difficult periods with money, difficult times, and having that escape from reality and going into this game and grinding, whether you're making a slightest little bit of progress, it was all psychological. Because you could be doing that in your life, you could be making this little progress with this in your career, whereas you go into this game, you're making this progress towards another level, another bit of gear, another bit of loot,
and
it gives you that same sense of achievement as you would if you were achieving that.
Especially if you're getting the gratification of people around you who will say, "Oh, well done, that's a great bit of gear."
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one basis was the escapism and obviously the drive and the achievement sense, but I think it was also a community sense as well, because for the most part, as soon as you went into World of Warcraft, you had your different places in Warcraft. I mean, if anyone knows Warcraft, the Barons chat, that was the chat that you knew that you were going to laugh at. Like, there was going to be some off the cuff or funny things being said, and you were just going to like find it hilarious. Like, there's so many different parts of the community within World of Warcraft that certainly kept people within the game.
And what were the kind of dark sides to that game then?
Lots of different dark sides. I mean,
what did you experience then? Because of all, like, okay, one fun experience I had in Halo, I remember we played Halo 3 and suddenly the lag was terrible. And I looked and I looked in one of the people's names, it was like Jaco Maxon, they're all from Japan, right? So they're all from Japan, so it said, I like to make overseas friends. So I was like, oh, hello, started talking to him. Next thing I know, I was away out for the weekend, and don't ask me why, don't do this at home. I gave him my address, right?
Oh, terrible.
Right, you wanted to send me a gift, they said. So I must have been about like, just early 20s. So I said, right, fine, yeah. Anyway, one day I came home, Mum said there's like a shoebox, well, there was a shoebox there for me, and I opened it, and he wrote me all these wee letters, he'd made these wee origami swans, it was just like, remember the old case catalogues and things? He'd made it out of that, he gave me loads of sweeties. But anyway, there's loads of crazy things that you can be online with.
Oh, absolutely.
But what's some of the dark sides?
So what the main dark side I actually faced... And
don't give out your address to anyone.
No, absolutely not. That's, no, I'm not that daft.
Well, man, I gave it to this Japanese guy. I still got, do you know what, and I got on Facebook, and he looks like he's like a Yuzuka guy. He's got this kind of balaclava.
All tattoos.
It's just like, but anyway, I've known him now for about 10, 15 years, and we just message back and forward. I don't think I think he's a harmless enough dude, but
absolutely.
Yeah,
but for myself, I think that was probably around 2006 period, so I would have been about 12 or so. Still naive, very, very naive. At that point, I'd been playing World of Warcraft for about a year and a half.
So you're playing at 12?
Yeah.
Right, wow.
I'd been playing World of Warcraft for about a year and a half by that point. I mean, I got it about 6 months after it got released.
See, that's scary.
Yeah.
See, I was lucky. That's what online for me didn't start until my mid-20s. But obviously, then I'm making stupid mistakes at the beginning there. Yeah. But thinking about getting experience of that age, then you play with a lot of adults as well.
Well, the experience that I had, it was just a guy that I had met through the game, talking in a guild, and I was struggling with killing this monster essentially, or clearing this dungeon rather. And this guy was like, "Oh, look, just give me your account details. I'll go get it done for you." Or it was a quest. I'm pretty sure I'll get it done for you. I was like, "Oh, really? That'd be amazing. I feel fantastic." Again, naive me. No bother at all. So gave him my details. He said, "All right, just give me a week." I was like, "Okay, I'll give him a week." So I just went about my week. You know, I played my other games. At that time, I was playing Time Splitters 2 and things like that. Phenomenal game. I was like, "All right, I'll go give him a hop on the game and give him a wee message." Incorrect password. Just what I typed in, right? Incorrect password. I was like, right, okay. And it was actually one of my friends who I knew at the time. He played World of Warcraft. And he was like, "What happened?" I was like, "Oh, well, he said if I give him my account details, he'd help me get this quest." I was like, Arran,
What did he benefit from that though? What was the gain
took
for him?
all my gold, sold all my gear.
That's terrible,
like, yeah. Now again, that's
like
stuff.
my arc story.
Oh, honestly, that's things that I had worked on for like over a year and a half. But it was what it was, and you learn from these mistakes, you know. Yeah, absolutely learn. Gaming, it does have its dark sides, but
that's because it can interact with anybody. You don't know who you're talking to.
Exactly.
So
you don't know who you're talking.
I was going to ask you what the young Arran done, but obviously you're at 12 playing that. But what did the younger Arran play?
Younger Arran. Okay, so when I was growing up, I believe it was Super Mario World. I got to play. Yep. Me and my sister, we used to play that. I always got made to be Luigi, which I was never a fan of.
That's all right.
I like red. Red's my favourite colour. But played that mostly growing up, and then I had two friends, Michael and Mark. From there, we started playing like I said, Time Splitters 2, playing Donkey Konga, all these fun different games varieties. And it wasn't like we were staying inside playing games all the time, but we were constantly going out, climbing trees, being just random people. And then we get into high school, and I got into a bit of a bad crowd for a bit. And I was like, right, I think I need to take a step back from this now. Thankfully, around this time, the Wrath of the Lich King expansion got released for World of Warcraft, so I was like, I think I'll go play that. So whenever the guy would come at my door, ask if I was coming out, I'd be like, I'm not in. No, he's not in, he's not well, he's not this and that. So eventually over a course of a few weeks, I'm not well, I'm trying, yeah. Exactly. So over the sort of course of a few weeks, a few months, the guy stopped coming to my door, and that was me sort of out. And then it wasn't until I was in my early 20s, he actually ended up in jail for a number of different things. I won't obviously talk about them, but it was kind of a sort of bit of a perspective changer. Like I could have been down that route, but in an aspect, gaming kind of took me away from that. I was
going to say, like, I suppose every school has a group of guys like that. Did any of those guys like gaming?
No, no. They weren't that kind of people, unfortunately. They were very much the sort of underage drinking type, to be honest.
Do you wonder about people? The thing is as well, I'm trying to get my children into groups and clubs because I think once again, if kids don't have that focus or anything to do, then once again they could easily get swayed into that. Well, so it'd be good for kids. It'd be good more if they did have something to focus on rather than breaking windows or whatever.
Absolutely. I think in this day and age, there's a lot more out there for kids to have their mind more driven towards.
It still costs a lot of money to be doing different activities.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the key points is poverty in Scotland. I mean, I think that's one of the things that has held back a lot of different parts of Scotland in developing in esports, because we are still quite poverty stricken in a lot of, whether it's up in the Highlands sort of area, down lowlands. Some places just don't have great internet. I know one of the chaps that I'm at college with, he loves going to places that have good internet, because as soon as he's at home, he's pinging up to about 200 ms and he's downloading that like 2 kilobytes a second. Like, he hates it.
Yeah, the Scottish government to sort that out. We need to be getting.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, there's lots of different parts.
Yeah, because my friend's up north and he's even thinking about Starlink.
Yeah.
I just send him me video clips. I got the Legion Go, and for some reason I also have a really good network adapter, but we're downloading something at 700 meg.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I filmed it and sent him it, and he just hates me for it because he's doing like 7 kilobytes.
Yeah. I still remember when I first got over the 50 megabyte bracket. Oh, I've never felt like I've seen a game download that fast in my life. I know I need to like keep my computer on for 3 days to get an update.
I know, it's crazy.
Honestly, it's mad, absolutely mad.
So what other games, and you talk about Time Splitters, things like that, like, you know, what else have you been playing recently? Have you still game at all?
So recently I've been getting back into League of Legends, to be honest. I mean, that's one of the games that
How do you find that community? How do you find that game?
Diverse. The community is very diverse. You can have your good people and your bad people in League of Legends.
Like world, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I always like to view League in a sense of I'm someone that's afflicted with Stockholm syndrome. Like, I've had enough, but I still go back. Like, I always want that one more ranked game. But no, League of Legends.
Even though people get that, that's the thing as well. My wife, she loves Valorant, right? Even though it can be quite a toxic community, they get drawn back to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it all relates back to that sort of addictive sort of side of gaming. Because, yeah, okay, I've been annoyed at that game, but at the same time, that's still my escape. That's still my sort of...
And it's a fresh start every time.
Exactly,
right?
that's still my space. That's still where I'm going to feel somewhat safe, and I'm going to be able to take myself out of the current mindset that I'm in and put it into a different mindset. because as soon as we're stuck in our own minds, that's I mean, depending on obviously what you're going through, things like that, it can be a dangerous place for some people. So if you take yourself out that mindset, put yourself into the gaming mindset, you're free for that hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 8 hours if you're like me sometimes. But again, it's totally dependent.
And how do you find the learning curve is for League? Because I keep on going to try it, right? And then I'm like,
well, I was an avid Dota player for the most part. I hadn't touched League of Legends really until about 2017, 2018. Prior to that, I was playing Dota 2 for the longest period of time. I went to ESL in Frankfurt and things like that with a group of guys.
What was that like then? Tell me about that.
Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Heading over there, this was the first time I actually travelled.
What age were you then?
I would have been 23, 24-ish, maybe. Can't remember. I was around that age. But that was essentially like my late lad's holiday for the most part. We went across. Day one was just phenomenal. The atmosphere, like having the crowd cheering, seeing everyone just having a blast. I actually have pictures of a guy that I just adored called Sir Action Slacks. Got pictures with him, met him for the first time, and he's just this massive bubbly personality in League. Like he's so funny.
And did he stream a lot as well, did he?
Yeah, so he started off like sort of streaming, and then he done a bit of sort of joke commentary, and then from there Valve sort of like that. He'd be good here with us, so they sort of brought him on board, like ESL brought him on board and things like that. He became like hosting major tournaments, TIs, and it was phenomenal. Watching his career develop was just something to just be amazed at. And I think my love for esports actually came from Dota 2. There was a story, it's a true site story. You can actually watch it for free on YouTube and Steam, and it's about a team called OG. You heard of No Tail before?
No.
One of the highest paid esports players in the world. So he was on the run up to TI, a major Dota tournament.
Was he a Dota player?
He's a Dota player, He's a pro Dota player.
Yes, Dota and League, I've never.
That's fine. But essentially, it was a fantastic story. So he, on the run up, he had his best friend, and they had created this team. And for years, they had continuously got to the finals, but they hadn't actually ever won it. And months before the finals, the best friend, he actually just abandoned them and went over to this other team. So he was kind of in a fish out of water, like, what am I going to do? I've not got a team for this major that's coming up. So he ended up getting in contact with one of his old team members, Anna, who was retired, got him on board, got into contact with Jerax, got him on board, got his coach to play as well, and then they actually reached out to this chap called Thompson, who was not a pro player, but he was essentially like a community favourite. Like you'd see him into public matches, just going in and just decimating people on the weirdest of champions. So he got all these 5 guys who had never played really together, got a team together, and they went on to actually win the whole TI, not just 1 year, but 2 years in a row. And seeing that story, I was like, esports is amazing.
Loved it.
Like esports is just absolutely amazing.
That's what I think. That's what esports misses a lot of the time. Is the story, the backstory, the rivalry, the people jumping ship. That's what makes sport, doesn't it?
Exactly. It's just an absolute fairy tale of a story. Honestly, like the documentary. Honestly, I highly recommend anyone that loves esports, even if you don't like Dota 2, if you watch that, you will love it.
It's not like I don't like Dota 2. It's just like watching
even if you're not into Dota 2,
if somebody could do something amazing in Dota 2, and you'd be like, oh, was that a good bit?
Yeah, that's fair.
Unless you're good at it.
Yeah.
Right?
But to be fair, between Dota and League, I'm spending a lot more time on League, but that's simply because with Dota I fell off a lot. I've not played it in years, and I'm pretty sure I'd be terrible.
So here's one for you, right? Do you think that between Dota and League, do you think it's because Riot's done a better job than Valve in pushing the esports scene? Or do you think do you think one game's fundamentally better than the other?
I think both games are equal. It's all dependent on the demographic. I mean, you could say the same about Valorant and CS.
Yep.
Very, very similar games to an extent, but they have their different caveats that makes them different. Dota 2, they have turn mechanics. League of Legends doesn't have that.
What's a turn mechanic?
So essentially the time it takes for your character to turn.
Wow.
Whereas League, you can just go tap, it's instant. So there's things like that you need to play around. There's different itemization.
I would then say that you probably got people that think that Dota is probably a more challenging game to play then, yeah?
I think Dota does have a much larger learning curve, certainly. I would say it does have a much larger learning curve. But League at the same time has a much larger... both have their learning curves. Dota has a much larger learning curve when it comes to sort of the intricate itemizations, the talents, all the different micro movements and things like that in the game. League of Legends, that has a lot more based around champions and things like that and matchups. I mean, you've got to keep track of, right, they've just used this, how much time do they have until that's off cooldown. And then you also have the itemization side of things as well. They both have their sort of caveats that obviously you need to get over to learn. But yeah, I believe that they're both fairly on equal footing when it comes to a learning curve, to be honest.
And who's got the most characters that you can choose in?
A League of Legends definitely has.
And do you think, here's what I'm wondering as well, because obviously keep an eye on Valorant, right? Do you think, how many agents do you think will end up in Valorant? Do you think you'll end up, like, okay, here's one for you. How many characters in League? Roughly.
I want to say, I want to say like 150, 200 odd, but I don't know off the top of my head, I'll be honest.
And and how many's in Dota then?
Last time I played Dota, there was about 150.
And so how many was there when you first started to now, roughly?
When I first started
I'm not putting you, okay, I'm not putting you under the
no, you're fine. When I first started Dota, I could probably only think of about 60 champions in Dota when I first started. But obviously through the years, a lot more characters have came in and played.
How do they balance that, or do they just give up?
It's impossible. It's impossible to balance, but the best way to get around it, especially with MOBAs, is everyone has a counter. That's the best way they can really balance things. Like in League of Legends, if I go something that's heavy on attacking fast, attacking lots of damage, all right, well, his counter's Rammus, who reflects damage back to that person. So if they're going to attack me a bunch of time, they're going to get hurt. Dota has that as well. If you're going against something that attacks fast, you go Bristleback. Bristleback, if you attack his back, he sprays out bristles, which stacks on damage. There's a lot of different aspects that go into these games to balance, and I don't think with MOBAs you're ever going to get a truly balanced MOBA, but it's going to come down to
But you still get your metas.
You get your metas. But again, metas, and a lot of people don't realise this, but metagaming is for a very, very high level. There's going to be people that are going to be in your silver, gold, plat, even emerald. It's not going to matter. It doesn't matter what the meta is, unless, of course, the champions just came out and they're overly busted. But the meta does not matter.
So do you have to, here's one for you, do you have to pay for your, is that the way they work it?
No.
Can you grind for them? Or,
you can grind for them. In both games you can grind for them.
But can you pay to get them right off the start
You can, yeah.
That's why they make them so good.
Then. Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, because you can obviously have a backlog of blue essence in League of Legends to get a character instantly. Dota 2, all the characters are free. League's the only one that you actually need to pay for the characters. But no, again, it's just one of those games. I mean, you've got to love it. You've got to love it. You've got to hate it to love it.
The thing is as well, when there's so much to these games and there's so much, there's a high skill level, I think that can appeal to a lot of people as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But at the same time, it can put people off as well.
Well, I mean, you look at Faker. I love watching Faker because he is probably the apex of League of Legends, I'll be honest. Like, the reaction times on him are unreal. There was a clip recently that went out from, I think it was Worlds, and he was playing Silas, he was going up against, I can't remember his name, but they were playing Ari. Ari has this ability where they can throw out essentially a heart, and it attracts the person back to them, and they can't move, it's charmed. And there was a clip of him coming in, doing some damage, and then as he dashes out, he sees the animation from the area where he casts that, and there's honestly about a tiniest little gap between the spell hitting him and him dashing away, and it was just amazing to see just his reaction to that slight little movement of the character's pixel.
And there's a lot to pick up on.
Oh yeah, absolutely, there's tons. You've got to know the likes of your waves, you've got to do your wave management perfectly, especially in top lane and things like that. There's so many things I can go into talk about League, like it's so many aspects.
When people get so passionate about something, it does become quite appealing, and then once again the whole brain goes to, oh, I might give that a shot, and then once again you go back to it.
Yeah. But yeah, I would certainly with League and Dota, if you never played them, stick at them. Yeah, you may actually find yourself to enjoy them. But anyway.
Good man.
Been a pleasure.
Listen, yeah, hopefully it'll be good to see you on the pod, and good to see you get some chat with some guests as well. It'll be good, eh?
Aye, absolutely.
You looking forward to it?
I am looking forward to it, yeah.
It'll be good.
I've already got a few people lined up, but
excellent.
No surprises. But I'm really excited to obviously have them in, have a wee laugh with them.
Yeah, definitely.
Be good.
Awesome, good man.
But
right.
yeah,
Cheers,
thank you very much.